Hi, I'm Therese, also known as Caffeinated Cast Ons on Instagram, and this is the Caffeinated Cast Ons podcast. Welcome back, or just welcome if you're new. I'm so excited that you're here in my little creative space here on YouTube. So have your beverage of choice. Mine is coffee. Curl up with your knitting or crocheting or whatever it is that you're doing, and let's just talk knitting and coughing. Knitting and coughing? I cannot get it together. The amount of times that I have recorded this episode. This is the third time I've recorded this. Let us talk knitting and coffee together. Clearly, I am not caffeinated enough. So let's start with that. This is like the third time I've microwaved my coffee. We're gonna roll with it. It's good, okay? I finally have brewed my own coffee at home. Typically, I love hot coffee. Last couple weeks, I've been drinking a lot of cold brew because that's all I had at home. I do a coffee subscription and it hadn't come in the mail yet because I drank my last coffee way too fast. Or I would just get hot coffee out, like while I was running errands. So I'm very excited to have my cup of hot coffee. I actually brought the bag to show what coffee I am drinking. I do, trade coffee. So it's a coffee subscription. You get a different coffee every month from like a sustainable farmer. This one is Alma coffee. It is so good. I think this might be one of my favorites that I've had. So I highly recommend. I'll leave my link to it down below. You can get $10 off. I love it. My brother got me this as like a Christmas gift. It was either birthday or Christmas a couple of years ago, and I loved it. So that's my coffee that I'm drinking. I just do some almond coconut creamer in there. That's it. Okay. I don't have any finished objects from last week to show. I haven't finished anything, and that is okay. But before we get into whips exactly, I'm going to talk about a whip that I moved into hibernation. So I had my Musselburgh that I was working on with my knit group. We're doing a beanie make along, so you could pick any beanie pattern that you wanted and you could knit or crochet it, and it's from October to the end of November, so still about 2.5 weeks left to get it done. However, I cast on another Musselburgh that's going to be a gift, so I put this one on stitch holders. I took the circular needle for this and put it on my other one, which I'll show here in a little bit. But I just put this on stitch holders. It was about halfway done. This is for me to go into my closet wardrobe. So I just put it on the needles. I was like, you know what? Someone asked for a gift. I'm gonna make it for them, and it's the same beanie, so I'll just switch. So that is just like in hibernation station there. And the whip is, again, like I said, it's the Musselburgh. Oh, I need to put my stitch stoppers. Put these back on. So that's the Musselburgh. And so I put the fixed circular needles for the smaller circumference on these. I was working at Magic Loop and it was just getting annoying. So I just switched to these, and I love it. It goes so much faster. So there was my stitch marker from where I was last week. I don't think that's gonna focus well. Anyways, but this one is from Juju Knits. That's their little logo. That is a yarn store in Fort Worth. And I feel like I did a pretty, oh, nope, there we go. I knit a pretty good amount since last week. I'll just pick this up whenever I have time. And it's funny because So the beanie I was doing for my make along, they're both like that beanie and this beanie are both Musselburghs. And if you know, the Musselburgh is essentially like a long tube and you fold it in itself and it makes a double lined beanie. And with these two together, I essentially have a whole beanie. So I technically finished my make along with my knit group. It's just in two different pieces. Yeah, so I'm counting that as done. I'll go through, I'll get there, but we're gonna recap kind of our knitting goals for the month of November and kind of do a heart check and see where we're at. I'll get to that later though. Okay, oh, here's my cute mug. It's elephants. My husband got this for me in Colorado. I can't remember if this was a Christmas or birthday gift or if he let me pick it out from the town we visit in Colorado. We have a cabin, not we, his family. There's a cabin that's been in his family for quite some time. And we go up there and I always get a coffee mug or two whenever we visit. Okay. Next whip we're going to talk about is the vanilla socks on a 9-inch circulars. These are also a gift, so we're very gift focused in our knitting this past week because I'd like to get these done by the end of the month. Okay, so since last week I've knit probably about 20 rows on this sock. There's my little progress of where I was last week. And on the other sock, I think I've only done 10 rounds. There's that progress keeper. It's a little ball of yarn with needles stabbed through it and just like a little pink tassel. And so 10, 20, 30, 40, I think each, so far I've got like 40 rounds on both the feet. I need to go until like 65 rounds on the feet before I can start the toe. Once I get to the toe, I'm going to switch the needles to magic loop. That'll be just a whole lot easier to do the decreases with rather than trying to work with those 9-inch circulars. I have never tried that before. I am strictly just going off Crazy Sock Lady's tutorial on knitting vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars. I've mentioned her videos, I think every single week. They're really good. She's really good at breaking down that process. So that is what we're gonna do. So we'll see how far along we get on those. I bet by this time next week I'll be on the toes. Yeah, okay. Next whip, we have our big old bag for our DK jelly blanket. So it's kind of a mess in here. I added so many yarns, so many colors to this. Okay. Okay, so that's where we were last week. My little corgi. It's bad. Focus. I'm just on my iPhone, y'all, so it's nothing fancy over here. But that's a tricolor corgi stitch marker progress keeper. Okay, so this is where I was last week. And since then, we have added a lot. Oh, sorry, I have my yarn book right there. We've added so many yarns. It's looking so good. And then I just started a new color this morning. And we are almost at the top of our strips. I almost finished 2 whole strips. There's no easy way to show this all on camera. You can see all my ends on the back. I'm weaving in as I go. I just need to trim the extra. So hang on, you can kind of, so I weave in as I go, and then I just need to trim that. And so I'll trim it before I block it, and then I'll make one final trim after it's blocked. And I just do the weave and Steven method that Stephen West does. That's how I weave in all my ends on projects that I work on. So yeah, been making great progress on this. I love it so much. Ooh. Get it together, Therese. Okay, but yeah, that is my DK jelly. And it's been super fun because, so my friend Katrina cast on this blanket as well. And since we both had a ton of scraps, we brought, so we meet twice a week at our knit night and we exchange scraps. And so I've already put quite a few of these in my blanket, but she brought her yarn stash and I just wound off various grams of all the yarns that she had. And I've been putting that in my blanket, and then she did the same with the yarn that I brought. So it's been super fun. So now we have each other's yarn in each other's blankets. So that's my DK jelly blanket. Whew. Sorry, I'm still feeling very frazzled this morning. It's been a long work week, and I feel like I'm just now catching my breath from the week. Okay, last whip that I have, and I only picked this up yesterday. I don't think I said what day it was. It's November 16th. I don't know what I have and haven't said. Okay, back to whips. So the last whip that I've been working on, I've only picked this up yesterday because it was only yesterday that I remembered that I needed to have it done by this weekend. And that is my square for my Afghan class. So I'm taking a class and basically you're making an Afghan, but you make it a square at a time and you seam it all together at the end. And each square is like a different stitch. And this is the stitch. I don't know the name. It's just some type of ribbing, like reverse ribbing that it's doing. But I need to finish by this Saturday because that's when my next class is. And so I picked it up and I'm knitting on it during my morning knitting time the rest of this week. I say the rest of this week. It's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. But yeah, I'm not too, oh, sorry, my needles keep. I need to finish it by Saturday, but I'm not too concerned if I don't finish it. I can always put it on waist yarn or stitch holders because I don't need to finish this in order to start the next square that we will be starting on Saturday in class. So I'm not too concerned, but it goes pretty quickly since it is worsted weight yarn, just super, super thick. So that is all my whips. So I feel like I haven't been working. Hang on, I'm gonna get comfortable. I'm gonna sit cross-legged. So I feel like I really haven't been working on a lot of knitting, even though I have made good progress. And so I want to look back on my November knitting goals because November is halfway over at this point, and we'll see what progress I have made. So goal number 1 was to finish my Scotch broom. And I honestly haven't touched it in like 2 weeks. I don't think I picked it up at all in November. I really don't think I have. And The main reason I haven't, I would say two things. One, it's been so much fun knitting on my blanket, the jelly blanket, that I just haven't had the urge to pick up my Scotch broom. And then reason number two is just because I just need to try it on to check the length before I start the hem. And it's just cumbersome to take it off the needles or add the needle extenders and twist it all on and off and, you know, finagle it to be able to try it on. But I really just need to try it on, double check the length, and then start the hem. It's really not that much left to do. So for this coming week, I think I'm gonna make it my goal to at least try it on and decide where I am at with that so I can start the hem. And then we'll go from there because I really want to get that done by the end of November. So that is goal number one. Goal number two was to finish a Musselburgh. I have technically done that, like I mentioned, because I put mine on hold and started a new one. I have essentially done that. So I don't know if I'm going to finish the one that's a gift by the end of this month. So I'm really going to cross off that goal and not put myself on a time constraint for the other gift. I want to get it done as soon as possible, but I didn't necessarily promise it by a certain day, but it is getting cold. I would like them to have it for the chilly weather coming up. And then my third goal was to finish my square for class by this Saturday. I'm really lax at this point. If I don't finish it by this weekend, it is okay. I'll just throw it into my goals for December because I don't need to have this done in order to start my new square this coming weekend. So we'll cross that off. Like I'm really not worried about it. And finish the 9-inch circulars. That was goal number 4 for this month, which is very realistic. Like I mentioned, I probably only have like 20 more rows to go on both feet before I get to the toes. So that's about 40 rows total, and then the toe decreases, definitely doable by the end of this month. So I am definitely going to be working on those goals. So the two main goals that I'm going to be focusing on for the rest of the month are to finish the Scotch broom and to finish the socks. And then the Musselburgh gift is like right behind that. So I would say these goals are definitely still attainable. I think I'm going to be even more determined to hit these goals. I'm the only one putting these goals on myself, but I think I can definitely hit them. I haven't had any finished objects this month, which was like a little discouraging, but looking back on these now, like I can definitely get some done. I did want to cast on another Musselburgh for my son, so I may start that in the next week actually. Just so he can have that as it gets cold. He's a baby, so he needs some warmth. And I may cast on, I think I'm going to cast on a pair of socks. I was going to wait until I finished at least one more pair, just because I do technically have 2 pairs of socks on the needles. I haven't touched my 2 at a time socks for myself. But I think I'm going to start a toe-up sock. All of the socks that I've been doing lately have been cuffed down and doing a heel flap and gusset for the heel. And I think I'm going to do toe up and change it up and just do a fish lips kiss heel. Probably a pair of just vanilla socks or just rib socks. Yeah, but I'm feeling some change. So I think I'm going to cast on a pair of toe-up socks here soon for myself and just kind of get my groove back. And I think that'll make me feel better. So I probably will put my DK jelly blanket. Oops, sorry, my nose is itchy. So I probably will put my DK jelly blanket aside for a little bit and focus on the Scotch broom, the gift knitting, and just probably cast on some socks as a serotonin boost. I think it's Leslie from Knit California that has like a serotonin cast on. And so I think I'm definitely gonna do that for some socks for myself and just kind of put some more pep in my knitting step. Coffee break. Okay, so that's all my knitting stuff. This week is going to be, okay, so this past week has been very busy. I've had a very busy work week, just for my full-time job. So I've been just kind of like all over the place. And then with next week being Thanksgiving, I have a lot to do between now and then because I am cooking. So I need to go get groceries. I definitely need to do that today. I'm cutting it very close according to like my personal, I meant to print off my timeline. I have like a whole timeline of like when to start everything, and I didn't print it out. Okay, so I need to get that printed. Need to get groceries. I have plenty of work that I still need to get done. I have a doctor's appointment today. Lots of stuff going on. So that's just kind of me. I've been very like all over the place this week. I don't know. November is just gone like so fast. I can't believe it. So yeah, plenty to do. And then this weekend will be kind of busy just because I have my knitting class this weekend. We're also seeing some of my husband's family that's coming into town so they can see our son and us, but they haven't met him yet, just because they do live a little bit further away. So that's gonna be nice, but just kind of a busy, jam-packed weekend, and then cleaning the house and getting ready for the holidays coming up. So with that, let's talk about some simple joys, because I feel like all over the place, and so I really just want to hone in on what I really have been enjoying lately. And number one is my warm coffee. I just love a good cup of hot coffee. And so getting my coffee subscription in this week has just been so nice. So thank you for hot coffee. Very thankful for hot coffee. Simple joy. Oh, you know what? We're gonna take it back. I forgot to say what I'm reading, watching, and listening to. Okay. Reading. So let's talk about what I'm still reading. I am still reading The Green Mile. I think I'm going to give myself a goal of that and really break it down. I don't have, I can't remember how many pages I have, but I'm about halfway done with that book, and I really just want to finish it. So I think I'm going to mark every certain amount of pages that I want to read in a day. That way I can really physically see the goal and the progress that I'm making. So I think I'm going to do that. It's not my favorite book, but I really, at this point, like I'm more than halfway done, and I just want to finish. And I've only seen bits and pieces of the movie, so I don't know what happens like at the end of the book. So I really want to find out. So that's what I've been reading, and I want to finish that by the end of this month so I can start a new book for December. Watching during my morning knitting time, I'll watch TV. Lately it has been America's Next Top Model. That's like pretty much as like reality TV that I'll get. Like I don't like shows like The Bachelor or anything like that, and so that's been my guilty pleasure. I'm in cycle 7. So that's what I've been watching. And then my husband and I, every night, like after dinner, we'll watch Big Bang Theory. And so that has been super funny. I've decided that Amy Farrah Fowler is my favorite character. She's just so funny. Like I love it. Like just like her quick snapbacks and how like she's intelligent, and she just still tries to like be, I guess, like socially normal, because she's just like, hey bestie, and like it's so funny. I love her. So yeah, those are the 2 shows that I'm watching right now. As for listening, I am still kind of binge listening to the Drama Queens podcast. One Tree Hill is like my favorite show ever. I have seen it at least at least 10 times all the way through. It is just my show that's on constant repeat. And so I'm behind on the podcast. And so I've just been binge listening to that while I work. I'm either listening to that or I have a playlist that I created on Spotify. That's just called No Words. And it's very just like kind of vibey, zen-y music that has no words to it. And it's just instrumental. And I really like listening to that, especially whenever I have time blocked tasks for work, and that's just like my go-to. So those are my like main things I'm listening to right now. Okay, and now as always, let's wrap up and close the episode with 3 simple joys. And these are just the 3 things that have been bringing me joy this past week. And it really just kind of helps ground me, and life has been so chaotic lately, and so it just really like gives me a time to show gratitude. So my simple joys. Number 1 is my warm coffee. I just love a good hot cup of coffee, and so having coffee beans finally, since I haven't had any the past couple of weeks, has just been so good. And then simple joy number 2 has been my morning knitting time. So like my coffee and my morning knitting time together is just so great. What is it? Chef's kiss. It has been so good. Like I really love that time to myself because the mornings are kind of chaotic. I have to get up, feed my son, get him ready for daycare. My husband's getting ready for work, and then they leave for the day. And then that's just my time to decompress and kind of get grounded before I start my work day. And then simple joy number 3 is just this time of year right now. I am getting like really excited and sentimental that the holidays are coming up, especially now that we have our son. It's just like, it's brand new. It's going to be like experiencing the holidays not necessarily for the first time again, but just from a new perspective, from his perspective. And I'm just very excited about it now that we have him with us. And I can't wait. Just the thought of that coming up is just like, I'm so excited. Yeah. Okay, so those are my simple joys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like this one was a little bit shorter just because like I don't know, I feel like I haven't made too much progress, but after looking at my goals and re-seeing those, I'm like, okay, I've got a handle on my knitting again. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to record next week since it is Thanksgiving. So we'll see. If it goes up next week, it'll be a nice surprise, but I'm not saying like, oh, you have to post next week. I am trying to be very consistent on here, but we'll see. So until next time, so we'll see. So be sure to like this video, subscribe. I would love if you continue to come back each week, and until then, stay caffeinated.